Good morning, everybody on YouTube. This is Rick Thomas from Obsolete Video Services. Today, we're going to take a look at a deck that I got from a previous video I was talking about. I have a friend of mine who's looking for all kinds of video equipment, and he goes to these places and he recycles stuff at an e-waste electronic scrap center. Well, he buys stuff at auctions, storage lockers. He gets all kinds of electronics from all over the place. He's giving me first pickings at everything he finds. Well, I was talking to him, so we're discussing this, and I'm going to be using him as a great source for getting electronic equipment. Well, when I met him at the electronic e-waste center, he was next to my car, and he had a bunch of stuff in his car, and he told me, take a look through it. If there's anything you want, you can have. Well, I just got the biggest score ever. This is it's called an Hdcam. It's a JH3. A very, very expensive deck. They go for around $2,000 to $4,000. Now, today I'm troubleshooting the deck. This thing has virtually no hours on it. Let's put it this way. It's got like 100 hours or less on the video head. This thing is so clean, it's ridiculous. Hardly was even used. But there is one problem. As you can see, I got everything working, right? You try to load it. All right. Try to load the deck as this. Watch, let it come up. Everything comes up on the display, but you're gonna notice it's got the flashing dot, which means that usually means there's a problem, okay? Which I already identified the problem. As you can see, it takes the tape in, large shell or small shell, but it won't load. It has a loading error. See how it kicks the tape back out? Okay. I normally wouldn't go through this much trouble, but since this deck is pretty valuable, which it is, and I decided I'm going to fix it. Okay, this is a very expensive deck. I could really use one of these. So I did get another one off eBay for virtually nothing. The guy sold it to me for practically, it's like $100, $150. And the reason I had to get another deck is I'm about to explain to you guys why these Hdcams they're not hard to fix, but they're expensive to fix, and you need parts. All right, as you can see, it does not take a tape. It's very low hours. Maybe somebody was using this and it might have overheated and burnt out one of the cards on the thing, which what it looks like is one of the cards burnt up on this unit is why it won't accept the tape. On the very bottom of the unit, when you take it apart, I don't know if you can see this. This is your DA card, or your digital playback card. Basically, this controls everything. It's got the CPU on it. This card right here, it's flashing, meaning there's an issue with the card, okay? It will not complete its cycle for it to engage, for it to load a tape. Meaning this card on the very bottom has an issue. This is your DA card that runs your digital playback and analog playback. This is one of your main cards on this deck. When this card goes bad, the unit is pretty much useless. Okay, everything else on the deck seems to be coming up okay, but this card will not activate because it has a bad CPU, which I think overheated, and it's showing you down there with this little flashing light that there is a CPU issue. That's the main reason with the problem with this DVCam, which is a JH3. When that happens, if you don't know how to identify the problem to fix it, and plus you need parts, you can't fix it. So that's why a lot of people get rid of these. You'll see them. And if it says does not play back tapes or whatever, don't buy it, okay? Do not buy a deck that says, especially one of these that says it doesn't play a tape, because if it doesn't accept a load like this, and it keeps kicking it back out, all right, see it wants to spin and load and it won't, that means one of the cards is bad. Usually it's going to be the DA or the digital playback card on the bottom, which is like a systems card. That's a main card at the very bottom of this unit. When I swap that out, that usually takes care of a problem like this. But usually there's a card on the bottom that's bad. And so if you get one of these Hdcams, I mean, this thing is like new. I'm going to fix it. But if it doesn't accept the tape and want to engage, it's usually a bad card on the unit. That's usually the problem 9 times out of 10. But I've worked on these before, and I do know once the digital DA card, well, the processor's on the very bottom that controls the functions. All right, and you got a flashing light at the bottom. That usually means the card is bad. So I do have another donor machine like this coming, which I got virtually for nothing off eBay. He says it plays tapes. That's cool. It's got tons of hours on it. I really don't care. I'll scrap it out for the parts. I just want the card so I can transfer it over to this deck, and we'll have a perfect working Hdcam JH3 once I combine the two decks and I fix it. But that's an easy way to examine a deck like this. If you have a JH3 Hdcam and it's flashing light at the front, that means the CPU card at the very bottom is not working or overheated. And if it doesn't accept tapes and kicks them out, that's a very easy sign or common sign for this particular unit. So I hope you enjoyed this video.